Hey yo! Welcome back to the Dugout and Beyond. Welcome back to a new video. We got some rule changes for baseball coming up next year. They have, if you haven't been aware of the changes yet, they have been basically a couple of them have been implemented in the minor leagues now, so it can kind of see, of course, how it works, because to a point, major leagues has more importance of minor leagues. Yes, it's development of the players and all that, which I actually kind of like how they did it like that, because then now it's gonna be these rules will be implemented in the big leagues, which when these players come up, they don't have to change to the new rules and be like, hey, well, we played with the old rules, like we do this. They already come up with the new rules, and it makes it so much easier for them to be acclimated to the big leagues and just, hey, go try and get hits, go try and get your career started. So yeah, one rule that has been implemented already in the minor leagues is the pitch clock. It will be, of course, shorter. So the rules will be different between how many, like, I think between outs. So here, according to the rule changes, the clock will be 30 seconds between hitters. So from when either he strikes out, walks, hits, they have 30 seconds to get up and go into the box. And the catcher must be in the box and ready with 9 seconds left on the timer, while the hitter has to have both feet in the box and be alert to the pitcher within 8 seconds of the clock. So all basically at the same time. And then the pitcher can still step off the rubber, which would reset the clock to 20 seconds. If there's a runner in second, if there's a base runner, and 15 seconds if there isn't. So he has 5 more seconds for when base runner is on, from 15 to 20, and they are only permitted to do this twice per batter, though. So you can't do multiple throws off to first or throws off to or whatever. It can only be twice. And MLB changed the minors, reduced the average time by 26 minutes, and coincident with an increase in stolen base attempts and stolen base success rate. So yeah, that's what it'll change. It will change you from, like, when you hear the boos, it's usually when the visitor team is thrown back to first with the home team on first base, because obviously the home team wants to win and all that, because you're there as the home team. Which I don't, whatever, I'm not making these rules. I don't really like that. Like, hey, like, what if it's like, sure, go off here or there. I have, it kind of does slow that down by, like, it does take about another minute or so. So if it takes, I know people personally that have been like, hey, this game is so boring, like, I don't know how you can sit here. Like, I can watch this game for hours, but I do understand sometimes, like, hey, 26 minutes can, in the end, can be a lot for someone. Yeah, so we have that new rules. It's 30 between batters, 20 when there's base runners, and 15 when there isn't, just because you don't need to worry about someone else and get your mind all thinking about that. This new one, I don't like. This is where baseball is coming in. Coming in with the analytics and all this. If you've seen in the minors so far, there's been white lines drawn off of second base, off like the back corner of the base. It's like a triangle I'm making ish, sort of, because you have the outfield coming in, so it's like a curved triangle where you can't have anyone in this spot, which is where a lot of bases are hit. Runs are being taken away and base hits are being taken away because people are just sitting right behind the pitcher. Be like, hey, pitcher, just let it go, I'm right here, like, don't do anything. But you can't be in that triangle right behind the base. I hope they don't draw the lines, just know in your head where to not stand. It just looks so ugly. Like, I'm fine, I'm not fine, but the way that they're gonna hopefully not do it will just make the entire thing just look ugly and just bad for it in general. It says, and So you can't have. So upon release of each pitch, there must be a minimum of 4 defenders in the dirt, in the infield dirt, which fine, whatever. A lot of infielders, like shortstops and second basemen, they do stand like right on the corner, right on the edge of the grass and dirt. So they all have to be right in the dirt. There must be 2 defenders on each side of second base, meaning you can't be in that triangle, or have someone be in right shallow field, on right field shallow, or left shallow field. And the team must designate 2 infielders for each side of second base, and they cannot switch. For example, a team cannot have a stud defender move back and forth based on the handiness of the hitter. That happens a lot with when you have pull hitters. You have one man go all the way over. I don't like this rule. It's just baseball. It's literally just change, not really change. It's more of, there's a huge 50-foot gap between you and between the base and the next defender. Bunt it, or just like lightly hit it. I know people say, "Oh, you don't know how." Like baseball's so hard. It's so much harder than you think. I've played baseball for years. I understand how hard it is. That's why I don't like when people are like, "Oh, wait, this is like so crazy." Like they're not hitting well. It's hard. It is hard. You're hitting a ball. Literally, the barrel is like yay big. It's like a couple inches big, and you have a ball a couple inches big. It's not a basketball where it's like this, and you're getting to hoop that's about 2 or 3 inches bigger than it, the ball, to get that in. Or you don't have a football just going to catch have the person catch in their hands. Where with other tennis, you have a ball this big with a racket. Baseball is, to me, literally one of the hardest things to ever do. You're throwing 100 miles, for the most part, between 90 to 100 miles an hour, and they're changing directions. That's why there's so many pitches that they have. There's sliders that go down, there's fastballs, there's cutters. This sport is hard. I understand it, I've played it. Yes, I haven't played it in the higher leagues, but I've had my fair share of times of batting and understanding that, like, yes, in the zone you're kind of just going for the hit, but a lot of these players are so like in depth with what they do that they can see this little tiny dot and go, huh, I have to swing this another half a second, and this ball is going down or straight, or I'm seeing this little dot of whatever the seam's doing. They can kind of they always say you have to think almost always of a fastball, and you can react to almost any other pitch in a way. Yes, it's hard to go from a 95 to an 80 mile or 70 mile an hour ball in one pitch for another. It's hard, but like, just go and lay down a bunt once in a while, and it will start to move it over, because, hey, he knows how to do situational hitting, and he understands how to change this and change his batting where it will, like, make there be no shift. But if there's a shift on you, hey, just try and hit it the other way. Like, don't try and hit it over them. Chances are you're gonna miss, and you're gonna pop it up straight 150 feet, 200 feet in the air, you're gonna get it out. Just go for the extra little gap. I know it won't work all the time, but just try it. Like, and then they will have larger bases. I'm done with that whole shifting. It's baseball at this point. It's analytics. It's this and it's that. Like, analytics has become so smart that that's why they changed it. I mean, not really changed it. That's why just batters doing. You want to get the out. That's the point of the game, is to get outs and get runs. That's whatever. Yeah. So they're gonna be changing the the size of the bat on the base from 15 inches to 18 inches. This is kind of here to prevent injuries from the bases. It doesn't happen much, but it's happened here and there. I'm not gonna really do it. Let's just say this is 15 inches. It will be like this. So it gives them a couple extra. I listen to Michael K. Yes, I always have kind of references to him because I watch them and they're at home. They have also those mitten gloves that are like another inch or so to protect their hands from getting like jammed on the base. So they're really going from like 15 to 18 to really like 20 inches of it. So it's gonna make these, if you're gonna have less throws to first and a bigger base with the mitten on, you're gonna have probably a good amount more extra stolen bases coming in the coming years. Yeah, but those are the rule changes that are coming. I think that they're trying to have the automated strike zone come in, but that's being still implemented in the minors. That's gonna be a hard thing because because the way the pitches move and everything. I think that would be the hardest thing to get in and be approved for everything. But yeah, those are the new rules coming into the majors coming up this next year. And most of them have been already implemented, except for I think the large base that's not been implemented yet. So yeah, pitch clock and shift are already in the minors, which again will help the new minor leaguers come in and be adaptable and understand it and won't have to learn it, which I kind of like because they're like the guinea pig, but also like, hey, you're coming in, we want you to have hopefully a great career from and show us what you can do from the start. Yeah, if you like all these new rules, like, subscribe, and comment. If you don't, like, subscribe, and comment. And don't really matter, because coming out with some new great content either way, and I know you won't, and you definitely won't want to miss it. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.